Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Grateful Not Greedy podcast. My name is Kris, and I'm here with my lovely co-host, and her name is Rachel. Hello, Rachel's here. We have kind of a different setup, so we are we're doing a little makeshift, but we are in the studio together. Rach, it's awesome, right?
Wow.
We are bridging. Literally, we are bridging the trans-Pacific gap, which is awesome. Yeah, but this is good, Rach, because I, as always, have a lot of things to talk to you about.
I know.
So why don't we, exactly, since we're together, why don't we talk about something that would be really cool to talk about together, rather than me, having to take a bunch of breaths and, deep thoughts while we're talking generally. I've been thinking about conceptualizing my future life. As I go forward, as I continue to live my life, my youngest just started driving, right? And I was in the kitchen the other day realizing, holy heck, I could do not whatever I want, but I could kind of do whatever I want, right? I'm pretty, I could conceivably travel. I could work more. I could bake brownies more. I could do more exercise. I could make some, I could do a lot of things, and all those have parameters. I get all that. So I thought it might be fun, since you're in the same situation.
Yes.
I am. Because it is kind of an interesting thing that happens. And then all of a sudden you're confronted with, and now I've always been able to say, oh, I need to do this. Oh, I need to take this person here. Oh, this person needs to go see this college. Oh, this person, I got to pick this up at the whatever. Oh, I can't work that day because I have to pick this person up. And now I don't have that. So then you're confronted with, well, what do I want to do then?
I know, right? It's and it's almost like when you get to that point, you look at that and you just freeze. It's I'm freezing. I'm I don't know. I can't remember a time in my life. I got married young. I had never had this big of opportunity to be free and to dream big.
I love how you say that. It's such an opportunity, to be free and then dream it however you want it. It can be however you want it.
Yeah, that's huge, and that's what's freezing for me. I was I don't even know how to do that. I forgot how to John asked me this.
Yeah.
So if you ask a kid, a 6-year-old, where would you want to go on vacation? They can name all these crazy things that are I'd go here and go play with the elephants and then go take a roller coaster, and they would pile everything in.
True.
And my brain says, well, I can't go there. That's too far. Or there's no elephants to play with.
yes.
And so the ability to even dream big, I feel I had trained my brain out of that. But now I have to retrain my brain. I have to practice again how to even begin to dream big.
Totally.
Because it's I have been put in this position, which I have loved and have created this amazing life.
Yeah.
Because I'm a planner and I can organize things. And now I have to take that off, have access, and to rebuild that muscle of dreaming big.
Which is multifactorial, right? Because it's well, did we? Yes, you had it when you're 6, but did you have it when you were 18? Did you personally, Rachel, have it when you were 15, 16, 17?
Yeah, I have no idea when I lost
Were you one of those people? But some people, I feel are just dreamers. They're always pushing the envelope. They're always I could do this. I could figure that out. I could that.
They can suspend reality. I can't. I have a friend and she can she call it manifesting. She doubled down on her manifesting. She doubles down. And I think I realized the difference of her manifesting and me manifesting. So
this is helpful because this is where we need to get to. Totally. It's what's in the way?
So what's in the way is I'll be I want to manifest an amazing trip this summer. And then as the summer gets better, I start creating contingency plans. She doesn't. She just doubles down on her manifesting. She does not let go of that manifesting. She's nope, it's going to happen. I'm going to find that house. I'm going to bring forward this trip. I'm going to bring forward this person. There's no plan B or C with her.
Yes. And there shouldn't.
Right. And I am wow, that's amazing. And I think that's what dreaming big is about.
Wow.
Okay. About really not having a plan B or C, of really just being this is it. This is it.
All in.
All in.
Yeah. And every little like cell in my body is oriented to that. You know, it's like when you have to cure yourself of a sickness or something. Right. Like every little cell in my body, I'm telling it that we are fine. We're doing great. We're going to be better. We're not going to land us.
And even as that, like whatever you're saying that you want to happen is getting closer. You don't You don't stop it. Yeah. Second guess it. You just keep going. Yeah. And I'm just like, I think that's how it's supposed to go.
Yeah, the whole ride. But does it really, in fact, or does she find herself like out in the ocean without a paddle?
No, she's never found herself out in the ocean.
But does she find herself out in the ocean with a paddle that doesn't work very well, or like with a boat that was like the thing? Like
she manifests pretty spot on to what she was going for. It's not always what we think it is, right? Right. Like it might be in a different time. It might be in a different like it might be like in a different shape, but it comes forward as that manifestation, right? So as her dream, right? And she doesn't get bogged down with how's it going to happen, when's it going to happen, all of those things. She's just like, this is happening, right? And I'm going to find it. It's going to appear. It's going to be a great solution. I'm going to trust it. And a lot of us are like, oh, well, you should probably look at it this way, or you need it. And nope. Right. She just like really trusts that the universe is going to bring it forward.
But it does.
And it does.
Okay, so here, I love this. Okay, the manifesting thing, I don't even think we even have to go through the whole manifesting thing, because there are treasure troves of stuff on the internet. If you want to manifest, off you go. So the manifesting thing is, but the relevant part, even to the grateful, not greedy thing, is how do we even define what dreaming big is? How do we see something that's not even there? Like, let's get there first.
Right.
So like I can put on my girlfriend's friend just had a bunch of them over to do their vision boards for the year and like put on that stuff. Like, is that what we do when I'm sitting in my kitchen realizing that I have a lot more freedom that I'm taking responsibility for? Then what do I do with that freedom? And I'll just out myself. My complaint about some billionaires in the world is that they don't do enough. They don't do enough for what the resources that they've used to get where they are, that they don't put enough back into the pool of that, right? And not just buying a $150 million house. That's not what I'm talking about. Right? I'm talking about actually, doing things to put, right? So how am I going to start defining what is my dream? To your point, when you said, like, how do I dream big when I don't even know what the options are?
Right.
How do you start getting in that area spiral?
So first off, like, I realized I have to suspend reality for a little bit.
100%. Like, and that might even be made up too. Like the reality that you are stopping and saying, like, this is reality. This is totally reality. That you might already need to do that just in the way that you clamp down. If you're so used to like contingencies and and the next thing, yeah, maybe, yeah, okay, all right.
So for me, I know I like get bogged down in like the logistics of it. Yeah, so I'm like, stop. Like, this is not logistical. This is highly dream big. This is like, and it's this thing that's like, you think of it as there's not an execution here. This is just, you remember when like we were in school and you had to do a creative writing exercise?
Yes.
And you're just like, whatever, like, get creative. And like, that's the dream big. It's like, just get in there and it doesn't have to make sense right now.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to like, you don't have to figure out like, I'm going to live in like on some like remote island. And you're like, where's that island? Who cares? Like, what does it look like? Doesn't matter right now. Just tell me about it. Like, what does it look like? What does it feel like? Like, what do you want? Like, how do I want the second half of my life to go? Because I am like you, or I or Steph, whatever, whoever you are. For me, it's like, I haven't had this much freedom. My son is now driving. Yes. Like, things are really opening up for me.
Yes.
And I have, like, my opportunities are endless.
Mm-hmm.
And the only thing that's holding me back from them is my ability to dream it. And I'm super clear on that.
Yeah.
And to your point about like the billionaires, I'm like, my life could just cruise right now and it'd be great.
It's great. Totally. And no one would even say like, oh, Rachel, she's not doing enough, or she's not dreaming it enough, or nothing's down for Rachel, because we look and empirically it looks amazing.
Yeah. And I'll tell you, like, I could have not had dreamt up the life that I'm living right now. It'd be awesome. But on the flip side, I know in me, I am 100% sure of this, that my life is supposed to be bigger. There's supposed to be something more now.
Okay.
Like, and not like I'm not enough kind of thing, but like, I have the opportunity to create whatever I want. And not only with that, I have the ability to do it. I have the information. I have the experiences behind me now to do it. I have the wisdom to do it. I have all of these things, and I have the community to do it. Right. I have like everything in place. And I look at it and I'm like, there's a big part of me that looks at it and thinks, if I don't like, this would be so sad if I didn't do it. If I didn't,
and you don't even know what is.
And I don't know what it is, but I know in me, like, there are, like, I don't know what it is. And that's the hard part is dreaming of something that I can't imagine yet.
Yeah.
It's hard. And like, it like freezes my brain literally.
Yeah. Especially when everything's going well. And it kind of gets me back to some of the things we've talked about in other podcasts where it's like, what is the calling? Like, what is pulling at you that's getting you like elevated to the next step in life? And where can we find those opportunities, and where and how? Even in a grateful, not greedy context, because this is a lot of grateful, not greedy, right?
Yes.
Because grateful all day long. Like, you live the life you live, grateful all day long. But we have to be careful, right? Because we could say, well, grateful, not greedy, meaning don't push it.
Just enjoy what you have. Enjoy the amazing lives we have.
Right.
This is actually amazing lives. Yeah. Like, we enjoy the beautiful lives we've created.
Yes.
But that the greedy part of it, like, would be not to.
That's exactly. It's
not
the converse.
To. Yeah, it is the converse here. Like, it's like, I don't want to be
greedy is the comfort.
Yeah.
Greedy is the comfort seeking. When in that homeostasis, it's the staying where we are, letting everything be, copacetic, right? Like that, right?
And that's, I'm sure some people will think like, oh, grateful, not greedy. Like, just be happy with where you are. And it's like, that's not what we're trying to do.
That's not what we're trying to do.
And so the idea of this is to push us out of our comfort zones. But every conversation we have is so we can grow, so we can get out of our comfort zone. And this one, the dream big, is to get out of this life we've created, not to get out of it, to like go beyond it.
Right.
Yeah. To like even like, brighter. Yeah. Like, have the experiences, have the ability, like, share whatever it is that like is part of your dream or my dream. And it literally is a hard task for me. Like, I keep thinking about it. I'm like, what am I gonna do? I know. It's like deer in the headlights moment where I'm like, freeze.
Right.
And, okay, now what? And there's a risk there. I'm like, what if I dream big and it's not possible? There's that the
reality check.
That's the reality.
Yeah. But this is
the other side of it is,
but it's a dream. So like, if it's a dream, possible, impossible, or not relevant.
Yeah.
Or irrelevant, I should use correctly. Yeah. But that's not applicable. Right? It's a dream.
Here's the thing about dreaming big is like, I know if I can start dreaming big now, tomorrow I can dream bigger and better. And the next day I can dream bigger and better.
Right.
Because it is like a muscle that I'm going to exercise and like keep building on. So I'm like, I have to start somewhere. So like, where do you want to dream big today, Kris?
Yeah.
Like, what can we dream big about today?
Okay. Let me do an example. Then you'll get how to play with it and like see where you are. So my husband and I were having a conversation the other night, just at the table. He was doing some work and I was doing some work, and I was talking about this exact podcast where we are right now. Hello, everyone, where we are. And I was saying, my dream is to be, obviously, it's great that we can have this podcast. It's great that people one-on-one can listen to each other. But I got some feedback from a friend of mine that I thought was awesome. And it wasn't feedback like, oh, Kris, I wish you would enunciate differently. I don't really like the tone of your voice. No, it was content feedback. Like, hey, you really made me think about this. And then now, hey, Kris, why don't you can think about this? Like, it was interactive with what we had going on, right? So when we first conceived of this, one of my big dreams was to be able to have our podcast. I shouldn't even say it because everyone's going to be like, no. Have our podcast. And then the week later, you have your follow-up webinar. And that's the where we chat about everything and like we do the deep dive, right? So even that, like even on this podcast, the different kinds of ways to grow with it, I have those dreams. So, but I have the dream, but I can't get there. I just can't get there. So you're having the situation where it's like, what's the dream?
Yeah.
And I'm having the situation of I Is now the time to disclose my ADD moment?
Sure.
Oh my God. Okay. So and then we could talk about kind of those differences, right? Because I took one of those career testings, really extensive, where you take like 3 or 4 hours of testing and they say do it all at one time because they don't want your brain to start, like getting distracted or whatever. They say you sit down, you do a whole thing, all kinds of things like, IQ tests where they make you move stuff around or whatever. And then just basic, even grammar kinds of things or reading or just to get at what you're good at. And there were a couple things, but the one like off the charts was this idea generation, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because they asked you to write something. They gave you a prompt. Mm-hmm. They asked you to write about it for 5 minutes, free flow writing. And that for me was like so easy. I was like, I think about it this way or think about it this way. Okay, for this truncheon with this, for this truncheon with this. I think everybody does this, Rachel.
No.
I think everybody does this. Of course you're going to get a prompt like this. And it was something about, if you could have wings or a tail kind of a conversation, but what would you do? And then how does that work? And I was like, well, there's the entertainment value of it. There's the practical value of it. There's like, are we going to build highways? Are we going to have shows? Like, what are we going to do? Like, and from that, I learned that that's not normal, right? That's not normal, right? So I can get to the dream because I guess I have that
you have that
gene or that cell or whatever that says like, I can get to the dream, but I can't get to the backfill as easily as I can get to the dream. So maybe we can work together in the dreaming versus that, because the dream big is that's the first step, I feel like, is to be able to conceptualize like what's possible for me and what is out there. And do you do that with a vision board? Do you do that with that? And the greedy part is staying comfortable. That's the greed in this conversation, is staying comfortable, to your point, like, living in your little reality, keeping your reality tightly. So
it's good enough,
right? It's awesome. And you know what you said, like you built an amazing life. It's amazing. You could stop right now and everyone would be like, oh, it was amazing. Like look how she lives. Right. But you're talking about not even going to the next level, but just going into a different skill set than what you have in front of you right now. Right. So
yeah. And so when you're talking about you have this ability to dream and then the backfill, I am the one, like I'm the backfill person that can't see the dream. Like, and so everyone has different characteristics in this, I'm finding. Some people can dream big, no problem, but like to actually execute it is me, I execute and execute and execute. That's what I do. That's what I've always done in my jobs, my career, like my world. Like
I say, you're a master admin.
Right. So I'm great at that. But what that does is it puts me into that energy, and you can't be in execution and dream. You have to be in one or the other.
I would agree.
You have to be in one or the other. And so for me, I have to pull myself out of execution, shut that down, turn that door, close it, tamp it on down, and then go into my dreaming room where there's like nothing there. There's no execution. Right. It's just like if you had walls and markers and just drew it all up and be free flowing through it. And that's where I have to build that skill and get that before I start saying, how's that going to look? How's that going to happen? Or like, when is that going to happen? Like, who cares?
Right. Just you're like the dude in the conference call. It was like, okay, we can't do that, people. We don't have the budget for that. You're like, no, there's no lights. There's no electricity. I was like, all right, yeah, we can't do it outside because you're that dude. I'm the reality. Like, I'm like the reality. It comes with my fire hose and is like, take those dreams and like, like even at that point, like that's the current reality. That is not the reality. That's not the potential reality, because I'm always the potential reality in terms of like, that's great that there's no electricity right now in that field where I want to have this concert. That doesn't mean there can't be electricity. Like conquer, right?
Yeah.
But then it's like in actually putting that together to conquer. I kind of get like pulled back down from my activation energy, because I think even that, like if you're a dreamer and you spend so much time in your dream energy, it's exhausting, right? I think you're depleted then. You're like, okay,
I did, and I am depleted in my execution. Because it
So
is
how do we-
exhausting. Yes, it's like constant decision making and understanding. And I'm like, if there's no electricity there, where can I get it? How can I find it? I'm just like constantly, like solving problems and trying to find the solutions. And
But you're focused on the electricity, and you can't be focused on how freaking amazing the show is because you're so worried about like the electricity, the crowd control, how are we going to feed everyone?
Yeah, and
how are we going to get these moments?
right? Like,
Who cares?
right? And so I get the and totally in there. But then the other piece that comes into play is like, so we're dreaming big. Yes. And we're dreaming big, not for necessarily maybe it's tomorrow, but maybe it's like in a year and a half from now.
Sure.
Like for me, it's a year.
It's 5 years.
It's
Whatever.
like, let's say it's a year and a half. That's when my son like be off to school.
Yeah.
Right.
So yeah, I love this conversation because it's so relevant.
Yeah. And right now I have space to add to my world because I have the independence of him driving and all that great thing. But then there's another level. And I'm like, how do I dream big for a year and a half from now? Because I know a year and a half ago, I was a very different person. And here I am today, very different than a year and a half ago. How about I dream big for my future self? Yes, that I'm going to be at a different than yourself now.
Yeah.
And I'm like, how does that even so these are the logical games my brain plays in my head that I'm just like, how is this possible? And then it's again, suspend reality. I have to suspend reality. And I know that for me, when I get in that solving mode, I am contracting and I want to expand. Like, I know that my life is supposed to be something big and beautiful and messy sometimes.
Yes.
But it's not going to be taking the easy path, the straight path that is clear and defined and has no bumps and nothing. Like, I know my path is going to be all sorts of directions. And sometimes I was talking to a friend and I was like, gosh, sometimes I feel like I'm going backwards. And they said, it's not that you're going backwards. Think of your life as a labyrinth. And even though you're going sideways, backwards, forwards, you're getting closer to the center.
Yes.
And that was helpful because I'm a linear thinker. So I'm like, I'm not moving forward. This is not right. This is not. And meanwhile, that's not what my life is about. It's not what your life is about. Right. It is about us continuing to move. Yeah. And that's what dreaming can create is that movement, whether it's sideways, forwards, backwards, it doesn't matter. You might be spinning in circles, but you know what? Spinning in circles might be spiraling you up, right? No idea.
Yeah.
And so those pieces of my logic, my reality, I have to suspend and let go of. And that is also a practice.
Yes.
Right? It is a practice for me to turn that off, to not fall into that. And I think if I can do that, that's going to open so many doors.
Sure. Yeah.
Of dreaming big, of opportunities I can't even wrap my head around today.
Totally.
And who I'm going to be in a year and a half. I'm ready to dream big then.
Right. Yeah, I love that. It's growing into your future self, right? So and imagining who that future self is and taking what I always say to you is what's your avatar? That's how I'm a super visual kind of person in that, whatever, visual thinker or whatever you want to say. But if I can see it, so I will take some version of an avatar for whatever it is. If it's a house, if it's this, which by the way, I've not been able to manifest this bigger house that I'm trying to manifest for my life. But in fairness, my kids have been manifesting against me. So I will maybe there's not going on, right? You're manifesting something and then they're manifesting against you. Maybe they're just better manifestors than I am. There's more of them. They're stronger.
Maybe you were trying to problem solve instead of manifest.
Maybe. Maybe it was, but to your point, maybe I was having all the reasons that it can't be, which, why am I going to give out my great note? Why am I going to give out my great neighborhood? Right, Les. I'm not going to give up this mortgage that I have right now. Are you insane? So when Trump was talking about that, I was like, oh, maybe he's going to just let this be a lateral move. That would be amazing. I'm like, yeah, what the heck am I going to do with that? So, okay. So we have some different conversations going on. So I think the key is how are we going to, first of all, what are you going to do? What are you going to do to dream big? What's your plan? What's your plan? And then for me, it's what I know, but we're planning now. I'm trying to get out of what's my plan? Oh, that's true. Okay, that's true. That's true. How am I going to dream big? How am I going to create the ability? Skill. Because when you were talking, what was coming up for me very much was when you were saying, I plan and then this or that. And I know you have been in your home. I know how it works. And you are so good at the logistics. So it's almost as though there needs to be a sacred space that's your dream space.
That's probably,
Sacred space. Like we do an altar for something, or do we do a yoga room, or we do whatever we do, right? That there's a space where when you go there, that's what's happening there. Because we can't expect our minds to be in that, like what you said, you can't be in two places at the same time.
Right.
So we can't expect our mind to just accommodate us. Oh, now we're dreaming. Oh, hello. And like I said, the last couple of podcasts, like I go to hotels to get clear, to get like clear my head. It's so gratifying, so helpful because you change the space. So in that case, maybe you don't need to change. Maybe you just make your lanai is like, now this is my dream space. When I'm out here on Wednesday, because we can still put your little planner in there. When I'm out here on Wednesdays from 5 to 8, I'm going to sit here and I'm going to let this be my dream space. And I'm going to just let it go. Just going to be free. I'm not going to worry about the other stuff that's going on, or I'll go to the beach to do it, or I'll do some way. Like, what do you think about that concept? And, maybe taking some of the pieces of, what do you gravitate to when you're on Pinterest? Like, like, what do you put in the search bar? And not just like what content comes to you, because that's also kind of driven by a lot of other nonsense that our old self, right?
Right.
So like, what do you put in the search bar? And we probably go and ask chat, hey, chat, how do I dream big? What's the process to really dreaming big? Because there has to be a way for your mind to be free. Both to get the ideas of what's possible that you want to take on, and then to let it flow through you to kind of mesh to see like really what that is. Because what I'm getting to from this conversation is it's scary to make the commitment, because we make the commitment of the big dream and now we've got to backfill. You and I are backfilling. We're like, oh, well, shoot, now I got to do this. I got to do that. I got to blah, 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 blah,
Yeah. And okay. So yes, I think I need to create a sacred space and a place where there's not like bills sitting around. There's not like laundry, where there's not like, the reality of the daily world. And that could be just like facing away. That could be sitting in nature. That could be on my lanai. Like there's a lot of places that I could do that. It does need to be dedicated time, and it does need to be a practice for me. Because it's like, it has to be a practice. And, I started doing one before I was going to bed the other night, and it just like, it got me so like a little excited and a little unknown, and I was like, this is not a good thing to do right before bed.
Right? Like, that's actually really good variation though.
Yeah, like for me, like some people maybe like trying big might be like this like
bring anxiety. Yeah.
But for me, it actually brought this idea of like, oh my gosh, there's so much here, and it wasn't the right time. And so I think for me, I wake up and like when I wake up, my eyes go up, and I'm like, phew, I'm not the person that like slowly moves out of bed. I'm like slow mover. Okay, I am not that warm side. So I always tell people, I'm like, if that's too much for you, you shouldn't be around me in the morning, because I am like up and out. But I'm like in it, like music goes on and dancing around, like I am ready to go. So that tells me I would guess my dream big is in the morning for me, because that is like, I'm totally the opposite night owl, 100%. 9 o'clock hits and I am like, boom, 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 firing. Yeah. And by the evening, like by after dinner and kitchen cleanup, I'm not in that space. Like I'll read things and stuff, but it's not my dream big creativity time.
Okay.
And so I am starting to figure out where those times and places are for me, and what that can look like. And then the part about dreaming big is, even when I dream big, it doesn't mean that they're going to be my dreams. Like as I put them down, it doesn't mean all of them have to come true.
Okay.
I'm dreaming big to like throw it all up there and then look at it and be like, yes, no, maybe, possibly.
Mm-hmm.
And also trying to dream big outside of who I am now, right? Like letting go of like being like, well, this is who I am. So I should do like, because I've taught yoga for so long, and I've had a yoga for so long, and all of these things for so long, it should be, and it doesn't have to be that. Like at my cost. Yeah. Right. Like it doesn't have to continue that way. It can be whatever I want. And so I want to move some of those current things off the table so it can really be like something maybe I've never thought of.
Okay, I'm going to add to that. This is like a really relevant point to my experience of life because, as many of us know, I am now a nurse, right? And that didn't just happen. You can't just go down to the police station and give your fingerprints and go, right? But how that started was, it's varied, but it really started because I was tired of getting hijacked in my particular business by not having a clinical license. But and I thought I was just going to go sign up to go to nursing school. Like, I'm a dope. Like, now that I look at it, I'm like, are you kidding me? I have so much respect for nurses, not even to like pat my own back, but to pat everyone's back who's out there doing it, because you don't realize how hard it is. And I've like counseled so many younger people now on how to get into nursing because it's a beast. It's a beast. So, but what it started for me was trying to solve one problem, which was I hate being hijacked in this business and I want to figure that piece out. So I'm going to go be a nurse. And then I figure out, to do it, I have to do these things. But what it did for me is it actually created a dream out of solving a problem. Mine was just, I'm solving this problem. But as I got into it, and then I'm really glad I didn't know. Like, to your point, I'm so glad I didn't know what it was going to take for me to be a nurse.
Yes.
I had been like, 5 years and this and that. You're going to sweat like this. It's going to be like this. You're going to be you're going to be studying in the car. You're going to be blah, 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 like just insane amounts of work, insane amounts of stress. I mean, at my stage in the game, like having all these new skills, everything's new. Your mind is being challenged. Like, to your point, I can't rely on my 20 years of yoga. No, it's all mostly new for me. I mean, there's whatever. I have some stuff, but not that much. So being able to take something like that where you start it to solve kind of one problem, but by doing it, you can start conceiving of all the amazing ways that you can turn this into a dream. Like, I can do, mission trips now. I mean, and that's super useful. I could do mission trips before, but not as a clinical provider. I could do mission trips now and, assist to the OR. I can give, vaccines. I can do any kind of emotional support, trauma stuff, like anything. So let's kind of speak to that aspect, because it's also, we talk about like dreaming big and you got to all fun and see, there might be stuff that's right in front of us.
Totally.
That can morph into, because it was my dream to be a nurse. It wasn't my dream to be a nurse. It became my dream to be a nurse. And now I'm so grateful.
Yes.
I'm so grateful. Talk about grateful. I'm so grateful that I'm a nurse, and it continues to create more dreams for me because it's opened up such a huge world.
Right. And that's the beauty of dreaming. Like, that is the beauty of it, of like, when that dream starts to become a reality, it just fosters even more.
Right.
Like, it snowballs in many different ways. Like, it just opens up all these opportunities. And so for me, like, when I think about dreaming big, I think, okay, like, what is it I want to dream big about? I'm like, what fills my cup? What fuels me? What gives me joy to the nth degree?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, and where do I put that in my dreams?
I would also add for you, though, why you? Because, like, what about you? Because you're special. I'm special. But whoever down the street is special. Right. There's certain, like, God-given or whatever talents and things that you have that you can bring forth to the world, that you can, display, or that you can express, I guess. And even that means I'm going to go travel. Well, I'm going to go travel, but by doing that, you're inspiring people, or you write a book about it, or I know someone, you help someone out there, something like that. So even that aspect of the dreaming, it kind of takes the heat off us a little bit too, because it's like you're dreaming, but you're dreaming within a space even of what you're already given, using some of that, not yoga, but you writing, like, whatever it is.
Yeah. So here's the challenge, though. I am trying to, like, the piece of me that I'm trying. I am like the great problem solver doer. You are a minute ago. Yeah. That's where my dream big has nothing to do. I want to leave that out. Mm-hmm. Right? Like, I want to leave that out of my dream big, meaning I don't want that to be a part of what I'm dreaming. Like,
but what if you don't even realize that it is part of what?
And it could be. I mean, like, rightfully so. It's always going to come in because it is one of my things.
Right. I guess. Yeah.
But for me, what I am trying to.
But what if it's something else? It's not like a hard tactical skill.
Yes. Right. For sure. And like, for me, one of my joys is when I teach, right? Yeah. I'm watching Peter like grow in front of me, watching people like experience something, having them reach something that they didn't think was possible, and to be a part of that and to witness it. Like, man, that fills my cup every single day, like every single day. And I was like, so how can that fit in? Where can that fit into my dream big? Like, how can I expand on that? How can I create the life that has that present in ways that I could never imagine? And that's where I think kind of what you're talking about is not just the talent, but like what feeds my soul.
Yes.
What on my very visceral sparkle like no other. Like what makes me shine? What makes me get going? And then how do I dream up ways to do that? Like in every facet of my life.
Right.
And in every way. And share that with the world. Because I do think the more we become who we possibly can, the more we heal this place, the more we move this total, the more we bring more to this whole world. And I know I haven't gotten there yet.
It's kind of like it's also a little bit about meant to be conversation. It's when I talk to people about work and what do you want to do? It's always going back to when you were a kid, what did you love to do? What things about it did you love to do? What did what could you do for hours and lose time? What are all those pieces too? Because in you is that little kid waiting to also be nourished, waiting to also be expressed, waiting to also have a whole dream life, right? And then we stop dreaming because bills and taxes and, the car breaks, right? So we're just like, we can't do that anymore because, hey, yeah, we're not 3 or 4 parents. Like, yeah, we're not living in like dreamland, with all possibilities exist. And, we have that. So if you even to like put it into who we were meant to be or how we were meant to each individually, because everyone is different, what we were meant to be able to accomplish, then that's expansive for it's way more expansive for each of us than any of us is. I don't want to say any of it, but most of us are doing, right? Like most of us have a ton of capacity, just like our brains have a ton of capacity that we're not using, right? So we also have a ton of capacity that we're not using. So then how do we want to like what should we say if I'm this big dreamer and you're this big planner, then when we finish this podcast, Rachel, what is going to change? What is going to be different? What can we do? Grateful, not because greedy. I'm going to call you greedy every time, and you're like, but it's so good here. I got my life is fine. I love my other life. It's so great. And I'm like, Rachel, that's so greedy. And here it is. So what the heck?
Want more,
right? But it's got what more and be responsible for taking more. You and I are built from the same cloth. We are givers. Givers, give. Oh, I'm sorry. Did I take something from you? I'm so sorry. Let me give you back 1.5 ties. So not for our one cup of sugar. Here's a pound. Right. I'll pay you back with a pound. Right. It's true. So that's part of the task too, is being responsible for the taking part of your life. The choosing you, which we've talked about.
Yeah.
The choosing, but maybe this is actually a little bit of that limitation even in reality too, right?
Because like if I make the dream,
yes, my year dream, and you might ought to maybe run over some frogs to get your big itch.
That is somebody else's dream, and then I'm like, oh, let me turn down my dream for you.
Yeah, and let me how to get your dream because you're so important too. So let's work on your dream,
and that's like I'm totally got you. That is definitely where I sit. That's like a sacrifice in my dream. It's no big deal. I could wait another whatever long.
It's really fine. And it wasn't, it's not, it's just a little change. Hey,
totally. I mean, it's so for me, what I know is I need to set aside the time, one, to like start developing the practice of actually dreaming.
And it's the writing.
And it's the writing, and it's like looking at pictures, or I'm not very much of a dream board person. I'm more of a journaler. And I might like put like this heart in the center and be like, have things like words flying off of it that like resonate with me, and then like write it about it and then go back and add more. And like that I need to dedicate time to, and I need to, flex that muscle.
Yes.
And that, right. And go back to that younger person of myself, whatever age that was, where I could do that. and suspend reality for myself and continually do that. And then what I'd love to do is then I would have it like, a little book scrapbook almost. Yeah, like a book full. And then I want to go back like a week, 2 weeks, a month later, go back and read it and read the progression of it and see how far I've come and then redream all over again.
Exactly. Stop at the end point and make that your beginning point.
Instead of like, oh, hey, now what? Like, now what else can I, like, now that I have this ability to start seeing things beyond my reality, beyond what, like, I've planned, like, and trust me, planning's gotten me far. It's gotten me to here. It's not, what I know deep in me is it's not going to get me to where I want to be next.
Right.
It's not like, because
there's no plan to get
the tracks that I want to jump to, like achieve what I want to achieve. I can't use the same skills.
Right.
I cannot. And that's where I have to let go of some of my old self.
Yes. Like, my old what's possible and what's impossible.
Totally.
It's like the 4-minute mile, right? Like you have to show yourself that you can break that 4-minute mile. You break that 4-minute mile, you're like, hey, I can always run a 4-minute mile, right? And that's the same with me with my races. It's like, once you've done a race, it's like, I could do that race all day long because I have, like you said, I've made it a practice to know how to do a race. Like, I know how to do a race. I can do it. And now I could possibly, if I wanted to dream like that, I could still my dream, but I'll find another dream. But then being able to put it in front of you and then keep going and going and going. So can I just speak before we like run out of time, the achievement versus the dream? Right. Okay. So when we're talking about your dream, is a dream an achievement? It's my dream to go to the Olympics. Is it my dream to win gold? Is it my dream to go to the Olympics? Like what part of that is the dream? And what part of that is like the just driven, me ego? I have to satisfy some other need that's sitting there from when I was a kid, right? I think those are they can be different.
They can be different, but as a kid, it's like, who cares? Right? Like if it didn't matter, like you weren't trying to figure out like, do I want to get the medal or not get the medal? Like as a kid, you'd be like, I want to have the biggest medal ever. Totally. I just want it.
Totally. It's like the hockey players. It's just like, it's to stand the cup. And I'm coming in, counting those, in the shootout. Daddy scores.
Just, and it's like you sitting at like the 3-point line and like making that basket.
Yeah, like at the buzzer.
Yeah. And that is the dreaming. And that, who cares where it's from right now? Just dream it up. Yeah. This is where we suspend reality. And even if it is coming from a place that's like, you just want to get, like, you want to be recognized or whatever, who cares? Like, make it part of your dream and then dream it bigger. Like, and dream it. And then you're like, okay, so if my dream is like to go compete at the Olympics, all right, well, I better get on, better get in a second.
I better find a sport that I can,
play. Like, I don't know what's new at the Olympics that I can go for, and sure. But when you said that, I thought that was funny. I was like, oh, the Olympic tickets like for LA are just going up there. But she just want to go. That's a good dream. Though you want to participate.
That's a good dream too. Exactly. But that's a good point. That's a worthwhile dream too. Because my dream is to go to Roland Garros, to go to the French Open.
Yeah,
it's really legitimately true because it's really hard to get tickets. It's hard to get in there. Like the little experience. Oh my gosh, a dream.
What I do know about you have so many connections you're not aware.
I'll figure it out. Right? Here's the thing.
I think if you put that dream out there over and over and over again, it's going to come back to you, but it is totally available to you.
Yes. Yeah.
And that's where...
Because I was so close. I almost got it. I know, but that doesn't... Like, I have the robe my whole time growing up. I have my little Roland Garros robe. I have the whole thing. And then, there I am in Paris. And I'm like, I really can't get a ticket to the French Open. No, couldn't get one. Kept trying. You're right. And that's where... You're right. I put it as a focus. Yes, it's generally my dream, but now it's really my dream.
Yes. Like, or it's just like, that'd be fun, No. Like I'm talking about like the dream that you admit to yourself, you admit to others that you own 100%.
I'm going to Roland Garros. I don't know which year, but I'm going. I will be there
and own it. And I'm like, what is my dream? Like, and I'm going to own it. I'm not going to be shy about it. And part of it is I know I pulled back from it.
Yeah.
Because like, then if I don't get it,
yes,
I'm not.
Yeah, you're going to start telling everybody.
Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah, I was like,
and that's like, oh, I suck. I didn't make that thing. I didn't succeed.
But I never really talked about my friend in Manifest. There's never a moment she feels that way.
Yes.
Like, it's like, it's just like, I'm like, I'm so impressed by it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm so like, that's awesome.
Right. Exactly.
Right. And it's such a cool thing to watch and to witness. And it's not that like her life is perfect and it's amazing. No, but like reality is also bringing so much forward by stepping in that way.
Yes.
And so for you, like, I want to know how you are going to start dreaming big.
Yeah. Well, because mine is
French Open. Like,
yeah, because it's actually, that's such an it's an interesting thing because for me, it's not even, it's the dream, like dreaming big, but it's really identifying what do I want? Like, that's kind of where I get stopped. It's like, I could dream all day long. I'm super good at that. Like, bing, bing, bang, like, oh, this, I could do this, I could do all these things. But then it's like, to your point, if I'm gonna focus, it's not my strong suit, I'm gonna focus, then which one or which way? But maybe that's not true. Maybe that's made up. Maybe that's, maybe I need to suspend reality there because, just because I choose one doesn't mean I have to discount others. I could say, oh, I would love to live, in a villa in wherever. Yeah. And while I'm at that villa, I can also be, doing this great mission work off of the coast of whatever that I use the villa for as my reprieve. And this is how this goes. And then I get on, like they all weave together.
They can weave together, but you can't say I want to live in a villa and I want to live on the moon. Like, I mean, you could, but you're like, okay, for me, I want to be able to see how it all comes together.
Mm-hmm.
Like for me, I want to see like dream big and like,
why can't I live in a villa on the moon?
Well, you could live on the villa. No,
I'm going to be the first one to bring villas to the moon, and they're going to be freaking amazing. And I can see like little possum. We forget I'm my geogeneration. Then if I make little pods on the moon, then I can figure that out. And if that were something that I really wanted, but then to your point, this is great actually, because say we do villas on the moon. Then even if we get to the point where we're talking to someone, they're like, okay, I love it. I'm all about it. Let's do villas on the moon. Then you have to be capable also of reinventing the moon. We have in our heads that the moon is the moon.
Right.
But the moon could be a metaphor for the moon, for anything. You could now you create a soundstage that's the moon. That then you go and you like, now you're entertaining people because they go and do pods and it's like an experience of living on the moon, but it's really, these little villas and these pods and stuff like that, right? Like that's all, this is why, right? This is why I got that score because there's other ways to invent even within our dream when we say, oh, it's not possible because it's Mars. Well, what if you could reinvent Mars?
Right. What if when that's why Mars holding us back? Right. It's true. And that is certainly true. And you're challenging me to be like, it's not just one dream big.
Mm-mm.
It's many dream big.
Yeah.
And then keep playing with them and keep seeing, because I always say like the second half of my life, because I do think it's a second half.
Yeah.
Like how much I accomplished in my first half was staggering. So why am I celebrating my second half?
Right.
Like I had, I'm like stronger, faster, wiser, like all of these things. I'm like, not only could I do as much as I did in my first half, but probably a lot more.
100%. It's a great example because you also, even 5 years ago, 10 years ago, we're not sitting there thinking like, oh, we have to grow so much. We didn't think that. And now that we're here 10 years ahead of, you look back in that rearview mirror and you're like, holy cow, this Mount Everest of personal growth, right? Like literally Mount Everest that I just climbed. And now I'm seeing like, oh, there's another mountain there. There's another mountain there. Like we have to know that just because we think we're at the top of Everest, that might not be true.
And that's true because it's only what we know today.
It's only what we know.
And there was like, I was just reading this study about how when we asked people about their growth, personal growth, I think they said go back a year and a half, let's say. And they're like, oh, it had so much personal growth. It was amazing and all this stuff. And they're like, how much personal growth do you think you have in the next year and a half? And everybody said it was quite a bit less.
Oh,
everyone.
Really?
And I was like, you just proved that you grew a lot in a year and a half. But like for some reason, the next year and a half is going to be different. But as humans, we have a hard time seeing past the reality.
Yes.
And so that is where the dream big is hard, or can be hard for some of us that really say like, yes, I have grown so much. But if you ask me if I'm going to grow that much, it was like, oh no, I could not possibly grow that much. And it's like, no. You've done it before. Yeah, I can do it again. And what we do know is it will build. So it's probably exponential to like greater.
Yes.
Because we have more awareness, more capacity, more ability to grow.
Yeah.
And that's where like I know this, but it's just like, then my logical brain goes, like, that seems impossible. Right.
Yeah.
But it is told, over any of us who've done hard things or been put in positions where we have had to, you either grow or die, basically, in some of the situations that I know you and I both have been in. Literally, it's like you either grow, you learn how to incorporate this very difficult, seemingly difficult aspect of your life into your life and take it and go with it, or else you're gonna wither and die, Like, so you don't even know what's coming for you. Like, you don't even know what you're going to be asked how you're going to be asked to grow or how you're going to be asked to dream. You're like, so, okay, to close, think about what I love is the part about putting the dreams on each other. So I've just given an example. Like, say your dream is like, oh, I would love to, meet someone and, get married or not get married or blah, 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 blah. Okay. Okay. So with that person, what dreams do I want to create even in that setting?
The co-creation.
Right. Where do I want us to live? Where would it, like that. What would our hobbies be? What would our financial picture be? What would we, what would our children around us be? What would all that, like, whatever all that stuff is, that's like the layering. Or, it's my dream to go to Ecuador and, do something, whatever, something in the Galapagos. I don't know. Maybe you're like a Darwin kind of person. So it's my dream to do that. But then that might have all these other layers of what you could do with that one dream, right? Maybe that turns into, then you're going to either, build something there or discover something or like make a widget that they need there in the Galapagos because they haven't figured this thing out, right? So, so I love that whole concept of it's not just, even if it is one dream in your head as you're writing it down or thinking about it, and then what? And that means, and then what else? And then that gets you to where, and what else is coming for me? And then that could mean what, right? Because that's the practice. The practice is pushing ourselves, just like pushing yourself to get to the 4-minute mile. You have to keep practicing speed work to get faster to mile, right? You have to keep doing sprints. It's like short bursts. It's not like I'm practicing running a mile and that's how I get faster. No, you don't get faster that way. You get faster by doing speed work and sprints to get faster running a mile. Yeah. So we can do, even breaking it down into what's the speed work of dreaming big. The speed work of dreaming big is like, what are my dreams? This. Second down, make them work together. Yeah. It's synergizer. And also something you can actually see in your mind's eye.
Right.
With the details, the beauty of it, the amazingness, that all of those pieces, like, not just like, I want to live, in Costa Rica, and be like, okay, what does that look like? What does that feel like?
Are you on the beach?
What are you like? Yeah, what's it like? Yeah, like, who's around you? What does that feel like? What do you eat every day? Like, what do you have growing in your yard? Like, all of those pieces. Yeah, the more I can bring in, the more dream big can become a true reality. Because then I can pull it in. Like, I can see it, I can feel it, and I know it. And just like my intuition tells me, this is what I need to do now.
Because you want to start moving towards you, start moving out. And that's like speed work too. Yes, the speed work, the metaphor of it is like, then you just are doing those little things that are getting you there. Like, if your dream is to live in Costa Rica, well, you should probably learn something about monkeys. Yes. And you probably with some Spanish. But exactly, like, there's all that speed work of it is, how is that going to happen to actually, when you get it, to have it be fulfilled as a dream and not something that you weren't even intending, really, that you're like, oh, I had in my head that this would be totally, because people do that all the time, right? I had in my head that this would be totally different.
This is like a great example of people like, oh, it must be amazing to live in Hawaii. And I'm like, it really is. And it's also challenging. Totally. Everybody like can move to Hawaii and they're like, it's going to be amazing. And I was like, well, you know what? We don't have a lot of conveniences. No, life's a little rough. Like, my days are ruled, but like, by nature, by weather. Like,
could be about generator at any time.
And like, it's just, and so if you dream of living in Hawaii, like, dream it, sure. But like, know that, everything, like, they play together.
That's such a good point. Because even today we're out, like, doing a little, like, running around, right? And you're, oh, I don't live here. Oh, where do you live? I live in, like, oh, that's amazing. Oh my gosh, you're so lucky. That's so great. And yes, gratefulness, really. Grateful. I live in Hawaii. But you're right. It's like, doing that speed work then allows you to say, what is it like? What about living in Hawaii is the dream?
Yeah.
Right? Is it Is it the tropical environment? Is the cultural influences? Is it the way of life? Is it the chill vibe? Is it the volcanic, eruptions? What about being there? And then that's part of the distillation, the distillery kind of process of really getting at what does mean? Because then you can find, even as you're doing this speed work of dreamscaping, then you can probably mini manifest dreams all the time. Right? Yeah. So if it's about the volcanic eruption kind of thing, there are other ways that you can possibly, feed your soul that way. Right. And that's speed work and that's putting something in front of you that looks like the Hawaii dream, or that looks like the relationship dream, or whatever you have, that's getting you closer. And to your point even before about expanding you, because now you're in action and now you are doing. And now I always tell like my kids or anyone who listen, like, look, if you're stuck, go do something, literally do anything. If you don't know a job to get a job. Totally. Get a job. I don't care what it is. If you have a dream to be an engineer and you can get a job at the retail store, do it, because you're going to learn what it is you like and don't like and can do and get closer. You need to be in action, right? So I love all those aspects. And for me, it's I will come to you for the admin help and the setting up the little mini steps to how to get, because that's my speed work, which I think I can also do too. But it's the choosing, it's the defining a dream, choosing one of the hundreds of thousands of options that I have, but we only have so many weekends in our life.
Totally.
Only have so many summers in our life.
Yeah.
So only have so many, holiday seasons in our life, right? We only have so many. So if you just leave it up to chance, that's fine. Again, that's another podcast probably. Good. That's awesome. But if you're in the dream, like the dreamscape conversation, and once you start doing it, we've both been successful doing this. It's not that we've never dreamed and we've never manifested, we've never had anything happen in our lives. We've both been successful doing it. And I think now we're saying next level.
Yeah, next level.
Break up in your mind.
Intentionally doing.
Yeah.
Intentionally saying, I want to, it's like jump the tracks. Not just like keep cruising and then get somewhere, but it's actually just hop off this one to get to the next. And that's where, it feels big in my head, and it feels like, okay, these are things like, this is not a small ask of me.
Right.
This is a big ask of me.
Yes.
And that's okay. And I want to acknowledge that, right? Like, I don't want to be like, oh, it's no big deal. Like, it is a big deal for me.
Yeah.
And I still want to do it.
Totally. Because also it's not in any universe is it impossible. No. Yeah. And there are people who have done it. There are already flying cars. We're sitting here thinking like, oh, that'd be amazing if there were flying cars. There already are flying cars. They're already out. The companies are already there. They've already built them. They already work. Just try to figure out all the other stuff. Right. So like that's the piece, even to just start pushing our mind to where the possibilities already exist, that we think like, oh, that'd be so amazing, but someone's already way past us. So that means it's possible. This is all possible. Yeah. Okay. Any other takeaways? And the key takeaways are, we are creating a sacred space.
Yes.
Sacred space, sacred time for you, because plan. Like, that's your skills.
So that's like giving your space time to dream. Yeah, like in our lives, we're busy and we're full and we're going 100.
Yeah, we'll make 3 hours to go to a movie. Yeah, which has no relevance in our life. It's not going to make it or break it.
And making the space to dream, because it does require dream, and like to your point, and then in a space that feels that it's going to foster that.
Yes.
And then to just keep doing it.
Yeah. Just like training. Yeah. Little. Yeah.
And it just like, when you start lifting weights, you just start lifting them.
That's right.
Like, yes, that's what we're going to be doing. And then to like, I don't know, like we could have a Dream Big 2.0.
Yeah. Dream Big. Because I think that's the lifting weights is a good like analogy, because it's like we've plateaued in our dreaming. We're a little like plateaued. We've done great. Here we are, like we're at this point in the dreams, but then we have to start lifting bigger weights, and we, maybe we need some help with that, maybe whatever, but we have to get in a space where they have the bigger weights. We can see the bigger weights and we figure out how to lift those. Yeah. Because it's complicated.
Because I see both of us in this place of, we are both have a lot more freedom right now.
Mm-hmm.
But then there's going to be another phase where the freedom is even greater. So that's actually dream big 1.0 for the two of us. 1.0, because the 2.0 dream big is totally it's even wider, bigger, broader, and has even more possibilities.
This is actually interesting too. Like even
Like we're like with training wheels.
Right? Because and to be conscious of the process, because I have a bunch of kids, and if they end up having children and then there's grandchildren, I can just so easily, I can see it. I can see that right now. I can so easily be like, here's grandma. Sure, I'm available all the time. Oh, whatever you need, I will show up. I'll live next door. Do you want me to live in the back house? I'll do the laundry. I'll live your life.
Right.
I'll be my grandma, whatever, if I don't have other plans.
Yeah.
I'm not saying of course I want to be a grandma, and of course all those things are exciting, but that can co-dream in this other, much bigger dream that I have.
And a part of you to develop you into something that you want.
Yes, exactly.
Like, whether the nursing goes into something amazing, outstanding, or something completely different.
Right.
No idea.
Right.
And, and it's not that our families and our kids aren't going to be a part of our world and our dream big. Like, Dax be in there for me.
Yeah,
sure. Like, I'll have dreams. I have big dreams.
Right.
However, he's not going to be the central.
Right. And this is the trap, because that's what I'm saying. Even as we incorporate it, just by example, the dream big is I'm going to, live in Italy in this, Italian villa. Well, it could be like, well, that's grandma's villa. And every summer, the kids come to grandma's villa. And we, learn everyone gets their dive certification. Everyone does this. And that's the part of expansion. So not just to say like, oh, I'm going to be a grandma and I'll have the kids over. Even if my dream is to be a grandma, what does that mean?
Right. Like,
how's that
causing cannot
exactly
way can you
total, and not just what I've done before, what my mom did for a right, all that stuff. So push, and just expand it. Get out Pinterest, get out the vision board, create the sacred space, write things down.
Yeah.
And grateful, not greedy, and greedy is comfort.
Yeah.
Greedy is chill. Or greedy is I've done this before. I'm going to keep doing that. That's the greed. And the grateful is I've been given this glorious mind to be able to do stuff with, and to move and move.
Yeah, this glorious mind and this capacity.
Yeah, exactly. Even health and whatever you have at your disposal. Yeah, I love it. Okay. This is so fun because we're together in the same space. It's like we can actually just be here. It's funny too, because I know we're going to leave. We're going to leave this podcast, and guess what we're talking about for the next 3 hours? What's your dream? And what's my dream? And how we're going to support each other? And what's going to happen? So, yeah, I love it. So good to be here with you. It's so fun. Yeah, I love it. And this has been, is, and forever will be the Grateful Not Greedy podcast. And we will see you next time. Aloha, Rach.
Aloha, Kris.